Welcome back. I'm in conversation with Chief Ajmal Khan from Afghanistan. Now, China is interested in playing a large role in Afghanistan, and Ashraf Ghani's 2 visits to Pakistan, once to China before India, seem to have isolated India. So India seems to think perhaps deteriorated the long-standing relationship between India and Afghanistan. Nevertheless, can India and China both court Afghanistan in terms of future economic growth and policy?
We have not seen any investment yet, a large investment from the Chinese. They were saying they're willing. They have some investment in Afghanistan, in the north, in the oil fields, but that's very limited. They have the iron deposit contract of the Mese Aynak in Logar, but they haven't worked on it yet. So we have not seen that large investment from China yet, but we have seen in the last 13 years the investment which was coming from India to Afghanistan, which in the fields of trade investment and also in the minerals and so forth. So we have seen that $2.5 billion which was held by the Indian government, and we have not seen $2.5 billion from the Chinese, unfortunately. So what Ashraf Ghani was trying to say is that Afghanistan should be a crossroads between Central Asia and Southeast Asia. And if the Chinese are willing to become part of that, they should be welcome, because a business, trade, investment is for everybody, not for just a few countries.
So how important is India to Afghanistan?
The ties between the people of India and Afghanistan is going back a long time ago. And as we look at the history, we're familiar with the culture. There was our king, our former forefather Ahmad Shah Abdali, who also came to India. And I would not use the word that he conquered India, but he came to India. So that was that the relationship is there. And you know, the Pakistan existence is only 68 or 69 years before.
India's boundaries reached up to Kandahar at one point.
Yes, absolutely. So we had borders with India. And I think we have a good memories of the Indian people.
So it is quite an important role.
The relationship will be there, the relationship of the people to people will continue, and the government as well. They cannot separate us.
India wants Islamabad to move for a major peace establishment in Afghanistan, but since Pakistan continues to host the Taliban leadership, it very much doubts whether Pakistan will pursue a peace dialogue between the Taliban leadership and Afghanistan without a price.
Well, absolutely. I mean, this is one of the steps that Pakistan has to take, the eradication of the extremists. We have to condemn extremism in any form. If it's Muslim extremists, if it's Hindu extremists, if it's Jews, or if it's Christians. Any extremism which is destroying and killing people, it has to be condemned, and we have to stand firm against them. Pakistan is the first thing it has to do is to eradicate all these extremist organizations that has been created in the last, I would say, 35 years from the time of the Russian invasion. Once that is done, I think the Kashmir issue is not that difficult thing. They can create, by just having a Kashmir issue, how many millions of dollars is lost in the revenue of the tourism? By having Kaghan in areas in Pakistan, which is in Swat Valley and all the historical places like K2 and the rest of it, how many millions of dollars of revenue is lost? So this is basically madness to spend 60 or 70 billion dollars on the military budget, and then the people are starving. So exactly what Dr. Ashraf Ghani is trying to create a system between these countries in Afghanistan is harmony, peace, stability, business, trade, and investment. But one of the unfortunate things is that I've conveyed my message to the presidential palace is that we have to, every policy the president is making, it has to be clarified and given details to people, so people understand exactly what the president's mind is and how it works. Because in short term, it's very difficult to explain in a bigger strategy.
India could do more by helping Afghanistan in consolidating democracy and boosting civilian democracy. How much do you agree?
Well, I absolutely agree. The parliament is built. The parliament is built by the Indian government. So India cooperation in Afghanistan will not last. This is not the end of it. I think this is the beginning. In every relationship, with the countries to countries, sometimes there's a fragile situation between the governments, but not between the people. The hearts and the minds of the Afghans are very much pro-Indians, and the Indian hearts and minds are very pro-Afghans. And we have to work with each other, and the governments need to work in better strategies in order to make the situation easier for these countries to work with each other. And as I said again, Pakistan will prosper, will get more benefit than Afghanistan. India will get more benefit of the peace and harmony than Pakistan. So all these countries who are in intense situation, if they become peaceful, if they resolve their issues, I think that we all can live in peace and harmony. Look at Europe, look at East Germany and West Germany. All this, we have to learn our lessons. We have to emerge as a bloc of economic in the region. As we see the situation now, which is a devilish game is played by the Russians, they have created a great game again. They created a bloc of countries, which is including Turkey, China, Russia, Iran, and all these countries, that they're trying to get all the reserves and all the minerals to have the control in Central Asia. And then Pakistan and India, if they're fighting with each other, they will be left without getting a benefit, and we are also in the middle just burning for nothing.
Should Washington work more with India to help stabilize Afghanistan?
Washington should work with Afghans to stabilize Afghanistan.
But if using India's help?
Well, India is already, as I said, there are, trade and investment is taking place, but Washington should bring Pakistan and India to a table in order to resolve its differences. And then Afghanistan can play a very pivotal role into this. But these are the things that both countries need to sit down together, and without slogans, they have to take actions and practical steps in order to solve these problems.
People are still playing the great game. Could Afghanistan be turned around if the right people were in power?
Absolutely. This is one of the things that I believe, that Afghanistan can play and will play a pivotal role in the region. You see, we have a border, 90-kilometer border with China. We could build a highway over there crossing to Xinjiang. We have a border with Pakistan. We have a border with Iran. We have a border with 5 Central Asian countries. So this is a very strategical presence that we have, but Afghanistan needs a proper leadership in order to turn the table around. And we're sitting on gold, and we're begging for a loaf of bread, unfortunately. This is one of the expressions that someone wrote in the paper. Afghanistan is rich in minerals. We have about 101 kinds of minerals. Beryllium, lithium, and uranium is one of the significant minerals that we have that has been used in all sort of energy and things. So Afghanistan can play a very, very important role in the region because we're in the middle of Southeast Asia and Central Asia.
How should the future of Afghanistan be shaped or altered, in your opinion, to bring back stability?
Stability comes with economical prosperity. This is what I believe in. This is what I've proved in. This is what I've worked for 4 years in 21 provinces in Afghanistan by employing, providing jobs. And this is exactly what the model has to be applied. What we need to do for 5 years, we need to provide decent employment for the people in order to earn a loaf of bread. We cannot get into our minds that fast, because by the time we get our minds out, it takes time. So for 5 years, we need to create programs of like what I just said, community development projects, which will employ people, and that's the way it is. So the pressure will be lower by the government, and then the government can go into bigger deals and to create bigger jobs. This is exactly what I've even told Dr. Shafani during the campaign when he wasn't president, is that if we go to America and talk to GM factory or the GM Motors to come to Afghanistan and invest in our country and tax-free for, let's say, 10 years or 20 years, no one is going to invest in Afghanistan because we have a situation in Afghanistan, unfortunately. We have law and order situation. So we have to use the CDP, the community development projects, for the FAR community in order to work in their areas and to earn a loaf of bread for their families. So by doing CDP work, we'll be employing 4 to 7 million people a year. That's a lot of people to employ. So when we create employment, that's like $1 in the house. The people earn money, they'll go to the shop, they'll buy commodities, The business people import commodities, and that's how, you know, the trade and everything, the circle is circling. And then the government has to go into the mining and the so forth and all the bigger thing. But unfortunately, I see a lack of strategy with this government. They're not following the course. They're not following the strategies in order to tackle the issues. And the biggest issue which we have right now, or two major issues, is the economic disaster we have, and also the security situation.
You've been involved in the political level on the tribal area side, you know, as a tribal chief and the chairman of United Afghan Tribes for many years now. Where do you see your future in terms of the government? Somebody like you should perhaps be leading the country one day?
This is exactly what we would like to bring the attention of the West, is that Afghanistan is a tribal country. The tribes know how to deal with their problems, how to solve their problems. And throughout the history, that if you look at, study the Afghan history, our tribal leaders become the presidents and the kings and so forth, and they run the country better. So the government that we have right now is an elected government, and I took part in the election because I was criticized by a lot of people that, you know, Chief Zaza is not pro-democracy, Western democracy, and I said, okay, fine, I'm going now to the election. In my election campaign, although that I was backing Dr. Ashraf Ghani, but I was also encouraging people to come to the ballot boxes, and I think you saw my strategy there, and I was bringing people to come and vote. So by forcing or encouraging people to come to vote is also a good sign. But unfortunately, having this disaster government in place, I think that the democratic process has been damaged in a sense that I think the next election, or the parliamentary election which we have, I think a lot of people will not turn out to vote. So we are ending up again with the ancient system that our ancestors and forefathers were using it, and that's the Loya Jirga and the system that we have. In Loya Jirga, we do not elect people, we choose people, and then we give them jobs to finish the jobs.
Well, thank you very much for coming to talk and talking to us here at our studios at MATV, Chief Ajmal Khan Zazai, and wish you all the very best for the future, and I hope you make it to the level in politics that you desire and want to get to one day.
Thanks so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming over. That's all for today. Goodbye.